To speak about the legal impact of the United Kingdom asking to exit the European Union, we welcome Jean-Claude Piris, consultant for European Union law and former Director General of European Council Legal Services. If the British people vote to leave the European Union, what will be the first political and legal steps by David Cameron regarding the European institutions?
Well, politically, nobody knows if Mr. Cameron will stay as Prime Minister or not. If he stays, he will send a letter to Brussels and say that the procedure of withdrawal is launched. But if he does not stay, maybe this letter will wait for the nomination of a new Prime Minister, a few weeks or a few months. So as soon as we receive a letter from the UK government, the European Council is deciding by unanimity, consensus, on main guidelines of the divorce, of the agreement on withdrawal. And then the Commission will have directives of negotiation from the Council of Ministers, and they will negotiate on behalf of the 27 with the UK. And at the end, the treaty will be agreed by the Council of the EU by a qualified majority and by the European Parliament.
And during all that time, what happens to the members of the European Parliament and civil servants from British citizenship?
During these 2 years, which can be prolonged to 3 years, everything stays the same. UK stays with the same rights and obligations in all institutions.
So what are the areas that are going to be negotiated? What is the probable scenario that will be a good outcome for both parts?
Well, first of all, trade relations. Because now we are in a single market with no custom rights, no obstacles to exchanges, and suddenly they will have borders with duties and so on and so forth. So the main thing, and especially for the UK, which sells nearly 50% of its goods to the 27, because the EU sells only 8% or something like that of this to the UK. So the UK will have interest to negotiate new trade relations with the EU. If it's a classic trade agreement, that could be done within a few years. 4 years, 5 years, it's anyway long because it's complicated. But if the UK tries to get in the single market as it is, that would be much more complicated.